In this video, I will show you how I make this tiny hardcover book with scrap paper and secondhand fabric. I was rehearsing for an in-person bookmaking workshop happening here at home, so I thought it would be cool to show you how I teach a live workshop where I explain my process in real time. Follow along and make a book with me. Hello! Welcome to the Tiny Book Workshop. I am Gift. I was born and raised in Thailand. Now I'm here living with my husband Andrew and 2 cats. I'm a paper artist. I make handmade paper from recycled paper and I turn it into notebooks, stickers, bookmarks, watercolor pads, and more. I teach bookmaking because it is such a simple activity that helps me stay sane in this chaotic world. At the same time, I get to practice low-waste living by using materials that would otherwise get thrown away. Sustainability is something that I am passionate about as well. And besides all that, it is fun, relaxing. It makes me addicted to writing and also crafting, for sure. And I think it'll be great to share this craft with you. All right, so you'll be making a book that is similar to this. This is an A7 size hardcover book. The fabric here is Thrifted fabric. And paper inside, if it's personal use, I love using scrap paper, which is half used, half empty. You can see this is one example. This is my book that I use for to-do lists. Here we go. And I love it because it really speaks to the practice that I do daily, trying to live my life reducing waste any way I can. Look at that cute closure. Just a simple punch with a button and a thread. And there you go, you get a simple closure. But this workshop will not include the closure part. Anyway, the binding technique we'll be using today is French link and kettle stitch. So there'll be 2 bindings combined. They are very easy to do and beginner friendly. And there are 2 decorations. First is endbands, which are a strip of fabric at the top and bottom of the book, and also the groove along the spine. They don't help with book functionality at all. They're just there to add like a more elegant look to the book. And that will be the example of the book that we'll be making. So in front of you, you find all the tools and materials needed to make a book today. And there's also this little booklet here that I include a lot of bookmaking tips. And that would be helpful for you if you go back and make a book on your own. Okay, there are 4 main steps into bookmaking process in my style. 1 is preparing the paper, 2, binding, 3, making the covers, and 4, assembling. Since the time is limited in this workshop, I already prepared a couple things for you. First, I prepared the paper. And the second thing that I prepare for you is the bookcloth, which you will get to choose later. There are so many styles. All right, and now let's get started, finally. Now, remove the tab from the paper. What you're holding now are signatures. There are 8 signatures for this book. Signatures are a set of folded sheets. So this is 1 signature. For the thickness of it, I put in 5 sheets for 1 signature. So I find that it's about, a perfect size, a perfect thickness for me. So we're gonna start binding right away. You can go ahead and remove the needle from the holder. So the type of thread I'm using here is linen wax thread. It's really suitable for bookbinding because the waxing part, it helps the thread not to be tangled together, and it helps glide through the holes better too. Grab the first signature. The curved needle also helps with bookbinding as well. First of all, oh, by the way, there are 4 holes in each signature. And we're gonna start by putting the needle into the first hole from the outside and pull it all the way. Leave a tail of thread just about this much, and then come out through the next hole. Go in from the outside. So the pattern is simple, in and out until the last hole. This is for the first signature. Okay, now grab your second signature and put it right next to it. I like to put it on top of it. Okay, go in that first hole from the outside. Get in there. Now come out the next hole from the inside. Now we're gonna make the first link. We're gonna hook the thread with the previous stitch of the first signature. Just like that, and then go into that next hole from the outside. And then come out the next hole of the last signature. All right, now this is the time that we're gonna tighten everything. I have the clips right here. Actually, yeah, grab the big one first. Leave some space in here so you have some space to pull the thread. And then the small one right here, so it doesn't take up too much space. Now pull both of the threads taut. Once they are taut, then do a basic, tie a basic knot twice. Okay, and then trim the tail of the thread, the short side. Trim it short so it's out of the way. Okay, remove the clips, grab the next signature, and then continue with the same pattern. Go in from the outside. If you're confused which way to go in, when you start a new signature, just focus on where your current signature position is, and that would lead you to the right direction. Okay, go in from the outside, out the next hole. This is the third signature, and the way to link with the previous signature is you find the stitch that is right next to your, the nearest to your next hole, and that means this stitch. The next hole is right here. This is the stitch that is the nearest to it. So hook it like so, pull, and then go into that next hole. Don't worry about tightening your thread for now. We will tighten it later at the end of the signature. Come out from the last hole. Clip all your signatures like you did with the first 2 signatures. Now pull. You're gonna hear that satisfying sound of the thread pulling. The way to end this third signature is to loop around the previous stitch of the first 2 signature. Pull until you make a really small loop there, and then you go through the loop to make a knot. And that is your kettle stitch. Remove the clip, grab the next signature, And then repeat the same steps as you did with the third signature, all the way until the last signatures. Let me change the board here to make it more visible. Come out the next hole. Select the stitch that is nearest to your next hole. Catch it, and then go into that next hole. Come out from the last hole. I like that sound. Okay, it looks taut. Catch the previous stitch of the previous signature. Pull until you form a small loop and then go through that loop. Now the direction to pull your thread is up. If you pull it down or other direction, then the thread is not going to be taut around the knot. Remove the clips, continue with the next signature in the same pattern. And now you will start seeing all these links, you know, it looks like a X's forming between the signatures. And on the sides are kettle stitches. Go in, come out, link, go in, come out, clip, pull. Okay, now loop, pull, small loop, make a knot, pull upward. You see that tight stitches. Remove the clips and continue. Go through the loop, pull upward, remove the clip, next signature. Now this is the last signature, the eighth. Do the same exact thing. Go to the loop, tie a knot. Now, to finish off the binding, put your needle through that last hole of the last signature. All the way. And now flip to the inside of the book, and now we're going to tie a knot with that stitch. Put your needle into that stitch, make a small loop similar to the kettle stitch that you just did. Go through that loop and then tie a knot. Usually I just do one time knot. Clip that off, and there you go. You just finished the binding part. I'm gonna clip off a little bit more. So these sewn signatures are called text block or book block. It's like a book without a cover. You just finished quite a big part of bookbinding. Congrats. Now the next step is to glue the spine. This is the way to strengthen the spine. So in your toolbox, let's take out 2 clamps and the press boards. 2 press boards sandwich the text block in between the press boards. And then knock, knock, knock. The goal is to make all the signatures straight and flush as much as possible. This is the time that you will, make your book straight. Because after you glue it, there's no way you can come back and fix it. So if you bind properly, this shouldn't be challenging. But if not, try to use your fingers to adjust, individual signature to make it. Like if you have like one signature pop up, then use your finger to adjust it. If the knocking step doesn't help. Okay, now it is straight to me. So that's what we're looking for. Straight, flush, all around on both sides. Once you have that done, clamp them like so. These clamps are very strong. Then distribute your clamp to be even. There you go. Make it stand like that. Next step, we're gonna glue. This is a really easy to use glue. Really easy to use squeeze bottle. The glue inside is PVA glue. I believe it's the same as normal crafting liquid glue. It's white, but when it's dry, it's gonna be clear. And it dries quite quick, so we have to work fast. Squeeze the glue onto the spine. And be aware, the glue can have quite a large opening. Just be careful not to use too much glue. Yeah, this is about the right amount. And to brush it, use the paintbrush. I find this easier to use than the big glue brush right here because it kind of addresses the gaps between the signatures better. And once you get closer to the head and tail of the book, brush to that direction. Otherwise, the glue will be caught in between the pages and it could, tear the pages when you open the book. Okay, distribute the glue evenly. I think I need a little bit more. Okay. Okay, this is about the right amount. Now, while the glue is still wet, grab your box cutter and then run the blade through the space between the press boards and the book to separate them. This will help make it easier to remove once the glue is dry. Do the same to the other side. There you go. And it's gonna take around 20 minutes. So I'm gonna set the timer. Okay, now put this aside. And while we're waiting, we are gonna prepare a few elements that will go into the book too. So I already prepared 2 covers for you, front and back. So the reason why I pre-cut this, because we don't have like that much time left. So I need to make sure that at least I cut this and it's easier enough to explain it to you instead of actually showing how to do it. First, we're gonna need the size of the actual signature, which is here. And we're gonna add 6mm, which is the space right here, to the length of the signature. And the reason for that is it's for making the overhang right here. The boards that, go beyond the actual paper. And that would create a nice border to the book. And we add that to the length of the board and not the width of the board, because the hinges of the book will take care of that. You can see this is the grooves along the spines, right? These are the hinges, so it's the space between the front and back covers and the spine board. It's where you can open and close the book properly. Okay, that's a mouthful. Okay, so the width of the signature is 7 centimeters, and the length of the signature is 10.9 centimeters, and that is from here to here. And this 6 millimeters, that will be the overhang. Yeah, we make that 2 pieces for front and back covers. For the spine covers, we will add that. We will make that later because we're gonna need to add a few elements into the book. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna prepare is the mull. So mull is flexible fabric pieces that we're gonna use to strengthen the spine. So we're gonna stick it at the center of the spine like that. And that would be the second layer of the glue to stick that on. And this would help basically strengthen the spine, make the spine stronger. And the measurement for this doesn't have to be like super accurate, but I usually just focus on the length, the space between the kettle stitches, and that is roughly 3 inches. 3 inches. The type of fabric I use for this is thin cotton fabric. This is from my old curtain. There's just so much of it. It could last me a lifetime. And for the width, focus on having the overhang of about at least ½ an inch. You can see just like that. The next thing we're gonna prepare is endbands. As I mentioned, endbands are a piece of strips at the head and tail of the book as a decoration. You can see it right here. Makes it looks a lot more proper. Okay, this is the time to choose the book cloth too. I'll be using this fabric for the book cloth. This is a regular thin cotton fabric. It's an old tablecloth, and I just print on the banana slugs. It's a block printing technique. It's kind of cute. This would be enough to make 1 book. And you can see that in the back of this fabric, it has paper stick to it. And this is what we call paper backing. So it's a process that you basically glue the fabric and the paper together to add a little bit more body to the fabric. It will make it easier to glue. It will also help prevent the seep-through of the glue. If you only use fabric itself, it could be floppy. It wouldn't hold itself well. And some fabric even, doesn't take glue well at all. Okay, come back to the endbands. The way to choose the endbands for your book. To make it simple, I have 2 ways to consider it. First, I use the same fabric as the book cloth because that's gonna guarantee that it's gonna go well with the books, like for sure. And the way to make this endbands is basically you put a cord in between the long strip of the fabric and then glue it, leave it dry, and that's it. Or another way is to use endbands that are pre-made. These are pre-made endbands. You can see there are several colors to choose from. Even though there are many colors, it's not gonna guarantee that you're gonna find one that will go so well with your fabric. If you can't find the color close enough to your fabric, then go to the opposite color or the color that makes the whole book like stand out. For example, this one here, I went with the red and it goes together perfectly with the pale pink. So this would make your book pops up even more, and it adds such a nice touch to your book. For right now, I'm gonna go with this plain pink, because another reason is my book cloth already has pattern on it. All right, now to cut the end bands for the right sides, I simply, gauge this. So I cut this twice for head and tail of the book. I would trim them down later, so you don't have to be so worried if you don't get it the first time. But make sure that it's long enough for you to trim. Okay, now even though the timer is not up yet, but I could see that it's dry enough to proceed. Now first of all, let's remove all this from the press. Now to remove the board, it should be effortless because you already made sure that it's not going to stick here, so it should be easy to. Okay, if it's not that easy, then use your blade to run through it again. Okay, hold your book like so. Lightly slide your blade. Just be careful your nail. Yep, that's much easier. Okay, clean. Alexa, stop. Okay, now it's off the boards. Then we're gonna pop it back in, but make it slightly, higher than the board. Like so. So we have space to add the rest of the elements. Put the clamps on again. I can make it stand, like so. Make it stand. Okay, now you have space to work on your mull. Now time to put this on. Now glue the same amount, just focus on the center of the spine, not beyond the kettle stitches. Yeah, leave that blank for now. Then put your mull at the center of your book spine. You can even put the rest of the glue on there too. And now use your toothbrush to flatten the mull to make it really snug on the spine. Toothbrush works perfectly here. There you go. Time to add your end bands. So the way to stick the end bands to the book is we're gonna hang this part out, the part that has the cord inside, and the rest of the end bands will be stick onto the spine, like so. So once you stick it, it's gonna look like that from this side, and like that from the top. So that's the goal. For now, it's time to trim. I usually leave around 1 millimeter longer than the spine because it would help, cover the spaces between the hinges. Okay, example, this one here. I think I also left the end bands a little bit longer. So once the book is closed, the end bands stretches to address the hinges as well. See, there's no gap that you can see from here. Shh. That's the goal. That's what I like. So now let's have a look how much we have to trim off. Yeah, 1 millimeter longer than the spine. Then that means 0.5 millimeter hanging from both sides. Yeah, that's about right. Gonna put the. Okay, before you glue, make sure that the body of the end bands are not, covering the stitches. Otherwise, the spine will be way too thick. Put the glue on, apply the glue, and then put on the end bands. Adjust it properly. And press well. Press really firmly. This is the view from the spine. That's the view from the top. the view from the front of the book. Now do the same to the other side. Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, now all the elements are added to the book. Next step is making the spine board. The way to make the spine is to add the thickness of your text block and the thickness of one cover board. So put that together and then 1.5 centimeters. 1.5 centimeters. That's the size we want. Now use this board here that is provided and then measure as is. Oh, by the way, the length will be the same as the cover board. So that's 11.5 centimeters. So 1.5 by 11.5 centimeters. I found that using longer ruler is easier than the shorter one. Okay, and we're gonna need 7 centimeters on here. Oh no, 11.5, yeah. Cut that excess off, and that should be the same length. Yep, correct. Okay, now we got all the pieces for the covers, front, back, and spine. Next step is to test fit the book covers with the book block. Place your spine right there and use 2 pieces of masking tape. Place it at the top and bottom. Flip it over. And now for the hinges, you're gonna find a spacer. 8mm spacer works well for the fabric, you know, the book cloth that I provided today. So we're gonna put the spacer right there and then the cover there. Do the same thing with the other side. So the whole point of do the test fitting is to find out if you need to trim the boards or not. And most time you do, especially if you leave like more than 6mm hinges. Put your book block in the middle and then close the covers. Okay, make sure that the spine of the book block sit right against the spine of the board. And then observe. So you can see first the overhang on top and bottom. That's perfect. That's about 3mm each. That's what we aim for because we added 6mm to the lens. So it'll be 3mm overhang on both sides. So 3, 3, and on this side, 3, and 3. Now have a look at the 4H. 4H is the side that we open the book. It's this one here. You can see that it's like almost double. The space is right here. And that is the place that we need to trim to make them even, like all over the sides. So let's see how much we need to trim out. Probably around 2mm. Yeah, about 2mm. So the way to trim, okay, remove the book and then measure 2mm. Oh, I forgot. Okay, I measure that on one side. I usually like to cut them, both of them together. So front and back cover, cut them all together by flipping them on top of each other, like so. This might feel a little bit awkward with the spine right here, but trust the process. But make sure that they stack on top of each other like perfectly, because you want both of them to be absolutely even in size, in measurement. Put the ruler at the marks. You have to hold it real tight. All right, clean. Test fit one more time. Put your book block there. Close the book. Manage the spines to sit right next to each other completely. And here we go. This is already a perfect size. Overhang about 3 millimeters. Overhang 3 millimeters. Overhang 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters. And now the 4 edges. 3 millimeters. Okay, now the covers are ready. Okay, next we're gonna glue the cover with the book cloth. So first make sure that your workspace is absolutely clean, because the fabric will catch, any dust, any dirt that will be on your cutting mat. Okay, book cloth. Isn't that cute? So to position the book cloth, flip it to the side that we will glue. I usually just remove the tape altogether and then glue it piece by piece. So the way to glue this, we will leave about 2 centimeters border on all sides. And that would be the overhang flaps that we will, glue onto the board. Start with one board. I usually like to start with the big board first. And now grab your glue brush right here. Oh, by the way, PVA dries quite quickly, so I tend to, leave the small brush in a plastic bag to keep it moist. Now we're gonna use the big glue brush to brush the covers. Yeah, this is plenty of space, so I'll just tend to keep the 2 centimeter right there on the side. Yeah, plenty of space. And we will trim the whole thing later as well. Now we're gonna press really well. And now use your 8 millimeter spacer. Do it just like you did the test fitting. Oh, the spine first. Put it right next to that spacer. Make sure that it's straight against. And that's when you use something straight, either the spacer or the ruler to help guide the position of the boards. Press really firmly. And the last piece. Okay, put it right next to that spacer. Okay, now press really well. It shifts. This is one thing that you have to be aware of. Shifts. So if you notice that it shifts, you have to quickly correct it. Otherwise, once it's dry, then it's gonna be harder to fix. All right, now everything is straight. You can see that we have pretty much, clear lengths of 2 centimeter border all around. That is the next thing that we're gonna do. So we're gonna trim all the sides using rotary cutter. So the way I usually do this is putting the spacer on one side and then putting the ruler on top of it. align them. Time to cut. Go one side, done. The next, align, cut, stack, align, stack, align, and cut. Okay, now we're done with this. Next, we have to trim the corners, and for that, we're gonna use this corner jig as guide. This corner jig is 6mm corner jig, and that's about perfect size for, for the fabric this thick to be folded correctly, properly. Okay, so I'm gonna put it at the corner, stack, align, and then cut. Repeat for all the corners. And cut. Just scraps away. Now we're done with the corner piece. Okay. Ooh, it's pretty. Okay. Next, we're gonna glue each flap over, stick that to the board. And then we're gonna get into the last step, which is assembling. So we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. To glue the flaps, we're gonna need, this is waste paper. And I like waste paper that you can just flip next, new page, flip, new page. It's convenient. You can even reuse it. That's what I like about it. Now, the way I like to do this is to do the long sides first and then the short sides. Distribute the glue evenly, including the corners. There. Pick up your bone folder, put it underneath the cloth. So make a crease, flip it over, and press. Press all over. And then quickly address the corners. To do the corners, you simply use the bottom of the bone folder to press the cloth down on both sides. Okay, now be aware of all the trail of the wet glue. If you're not sure where you already used, you can flip to the next page. Know that whenever your fabric catch the glue, it could make the glue marks, which is not ideal. Okay, flip to the next long side. Do the same thing. Address the corner. Pick it up with your bone folder, make the crease, and fold, and press. Press down the corners quickly when the glue is still wet. Make sure it sticks. Be aware of the glue trace or change to the new page. Okay, now I'm on the short sides. Oh well, I realized I forgot to hit the record button in this step, so I'm using old footage right here. For the short sides, simply apply the glue on the flap, including the tiny corner flaps on both sides. Make a crease, fold, and press the corners right away. I also press them with my fingers to ensure that they really stick. Do the same thing to the other side. Now that the book board and the text block are ready, we are getting into the last step of bookmaking, and that's assembling. Basically, we will glue the end pages, which are the first and last pages of the book block, with the front and back covers while leaving the spine cover not glued. Because if we glue the spine, then the book wouldn't be flexible enough to open. Now glue the moose overhang on the page first on both sides, so they're out of the way. Now grab one of the loose sheet waste paper, put it underneath the end page all the way inside, and hold it with your fingers. This would be the process that you have to be fast and precise because it would affect whether or not your book would be right in the middle of the bookboard or not. This is the stage that, gonna define that. Put the glue on that page quite generously and then start brushing. Distribute the glue evenly throughout the page. Remove the sheet, flip the book like so to the other side. Lift that end page, use another clean sheet, put it underneath that page, and now glue the page quickly. Okay, good. Remove the sheet, flip the book over, and now this is, I would say, the most challenging part of making the book. Put the book block right at the center of the spine board. Make sure you have enough equal space of the board on both sides. Then one hand lift up one cover, kind of pinch the hinge on the spine of the book block. The other hand do the same thing, but on the other side, you can see. But yeah, use the hinges to pinch the book like so, and that would help center the book. You can see here from the top, from the bottom, then slowly close the book. Press. And then immediately open one page, one side. Then we're gonna start pressing the page. Make sure that the glue sticks to the page completely using the foam piece. Do the same to the other side. You can see that it still feels a little wonky. And I can see that the end pages are sticking nicely to the cover. Now that we glue both of the covers of the book, now all the active work for making the book is done. What's left is pressing the book. And this is only the initial pressing within this workshop here. But once you go home, then I highly recommend press it one more night to make it really settle and crisp. So put the book back into the press board, put skewers on that hinges, on both sides. Make sure that the skewers sit, at the hinges of the book. Okay, good, good, good. This is the view from this top here. This is the view from the spine. This is the view from the bottom. Now once the skewers are set, then clamps everything together. Now adjust them. Okay, I try to distribute the weight, but along the spine, more than the body of the book, so that it's very settled there. In case I forgot to address, the skewers help making the hinges more prominent and permanent. For initial pressing, I'm gonna set the timer for half an hour, and then we will get back and see the result. But after that, go back home and press it one more night. Okay, now the initial pressing of 30 minutes is up. Let's have a look at the result. Look at that! Wow! This is so pretty. Look at this. You see the grooves there, top and bottom. It's so pretty. It's so symmetrical. And look, it is so apparent. And see the overhang on all sides. They're also even. The endbands are so pretty. The cover art is really outstanding. One test that I like to do is see how, how center I place the book block in the book cover. So I find the middle point and then open the book completely. Wow, that is absolutely center. That is wonderful. Look, it's like a little crown in the middle. You see the gap in the spine? Wow, that is the goal. This means that you did a good job at placing your book block with the spine board like in the middle, right at the center of it. Okay, I am so proud of this, and let's have a look at the end pages. You can see that it is neatly glued. There's no more bubbles. There's a little bit of a wrinkle there. I think that's the thread of the mull. And on the other side, it's also the same. Clean and neat, and it's stuck there well. You can see there's a little bit of a torn paper there. That's because I didn't do a good job at removing the end pages from the press boards when I glue the spine initially. So that's what happened there. I will continue pressing this for one more night, and tomorrow it's going to be even more crisp and subtle. And that is the end of this tiny book workshop. I hope that you have fun, and I hope that my instructions help you understand how to make a hardcover book like this. And I hope that you get some ideas or inspiration to go back and make more of the books. And don't forget to press your book one more night before you actually use it.